What if the next time you walk into a store, the price you pay for something has already been affected by decisions made at the US-Canada border? What if the new tariffs war is not really about Canada paying America, but about who ultimately pay the bill? And here's the question most people forgot when the government put a tax on import goods. Does the foreign country actually write the check, or does that cost eventually move through a company, a supply chain, and back to you? Right now, this is not just a theoretical question. The United States has imposed a new 15% tariffs on about 20 billion of Canadian imports after trade negotiation collapsed, and Canada has promised a dollar for a dollar response. So, why did talks break down? What products are actually being hit? Could American businesses absorb the extra cost, or could the consumers end up paying more? And perhaps most importantly, why should you care if you don't buy anything directly from Canada? Because trade does not work in a straight line. It works through supply chains. It works through supply chains, factories, retailers, jobs, and prices. And once you understand that, this story start looking very different. Let's break it down. First, what actually changed? On August 2022, the United States began applying 15% tariffs to roughly $20 billion worth of Canadian goods, affecting products including certain some consumers goods, paper products, furniture, textile, electronics, and other imports. Now imagine you are an American company importing a product from Canada that used to cost you $100. A 15% tariffs can dramatically rise the landed cost before that product even reaches your warehouse. The importer now has a decision to make: observe the cost and accept the smaller profits margin, renegotiate with the supplier, find another supplier, or raise the selling price. And this is where the debate over tariffs becomes much more interesting, because tariffs are collected from importers, not directly from the foreign government. That does not mean the foreign product producer necessarily escapes the economic impact. It can still lose sale, lower prices to remain competitive, or lose access to part of the market. But the immediate tariffs payment is made by the importers. So, how big in the end? It depends. Sometimes businesses observe part of the increase. Sometimes suppliers reduce prices. Sometimes retailers accept lower margins. And sometimes consumers pay more. The final results can vary by product and market. But now let's look at the Canada matters so much. Canada and the United States have one of the world's most deeply integrated trading relationship, with roughly $900 billion in annual trade. That means a Canadian product does not always stay Canadian. A component can cross the border, become part of something else, cross back again, and eventually end up inside an American product sold to an American customer. The auto industry, the auto industry is a perfect example. Canadian and US manufacturing operations are deeply connected. So tariffs on a vehicle and parts can create costs on the both sides of the border. President Trump has now threatened 15% tariffs on Canadian-made car, trucks, and auto parts beginning January 1, 2027, which could put even more pressure on an already integrated supply chain. And that's where things become personal for Americans. You might think, I don't buy Canadian products, so why should I care? But you don't have to buy a Canadian product directly to feel the impact. If an American manufacturing pays more for imported materials, that can affect its costs. If a trailer pays more for inventory, it may adjust prices. If a factory faces weaker demand or high costs, hiring and investment decisions can change. That's the real economic chain. Higher import costs can move through businesses before they ever age a price tag. But there's an other side we need to be fair about. Tariffs can also protect certain domestic industries from foreign competitions and encourage companies to produce more inside the United States. Supporters argue that this can strengthen domestic manufacturing and reduce dependence on foreign supply chain. The problem is that those benefits can come with the trade-offs and continue to debate how large those benefits are compared with the costs. So, this is not simply a story about the country winning and another country losing. It's a story about who capture the benefits, who observe the costs, and how quickly businesses and consumers adjust. And Canada is not sitting still. Canadian officials had announced the plan for retaliatory tariffs on US goods beginning September 8, with the response expected to target sectors such as steel, dairy, agricultural equipment, and electronics. That means an American company exporting to Canada could face high costs too. And when two major trading partners respond to each other's tariffs, businesses don't just watch the headlines. They start changing orders, suppliers, investment plans, and prices. So, what should ordinary Americans actually do? Don't panic buy products just because you heard the word tariffs. And don't assume every price is about to explode. Instead, pay attention to the category where tariffs and supply chain matters most. If you are investing, watch companies with the heavy exposure to cross-border manufacturing and imported company components. If you are running a business now, where your critical input come from and whether you have alternative suppliers. And as a consumers, compare prices instead of assuming every increase is unavoidable. The bigger lesson is simple. Tariffs may be announced in Washington, but their economics affect travel through companies, factories, stores, and eventually households. So, here's the question I want you to think about. Do you believe tariffs are worth the higher cost if they help to strengthen American industries? Or do you think consumers will ultimately pay too much? Tell me what you think in the comments, because this is not just a policy debate. It is a debate about the prices Americans pay, the job businesses create, and the kind of economy the United States want to build. And if this video helped you understand what's really happening behind the headlines, consider liking it and subscribing to Asam Invest. Because sometimes the most important thing about financial story is not the headline. It's understanding how ends up it paying for it.